Hello.
Hello.
And we are
Hi.
back. I am Misha,
And I am Nez.
of course, as you know. And today,
We are welcoming Sami Hayek.
welcome, Sami.
Thank you very much for having me here.
No, we love it.
It's
we
a
can't.
pleasure.
So your studio is Hayek Studio.
Yes,
And we'll come later that you're an artist designer.
yes.
You are very influenced by functional design, but also going back to
Yes,
nature.
now you're going to start off all that. What
No,
I'd
I
like
love
to
it. I
say
love
is
it. I
just
love
like,
it.
sure, what I'd
But
like to
also-
say is welcome Sami to Dubai. You're here with Christie's for a very
Yes.
special.
Inaugural.
She always wants to cut over me this one.
It's
For-
usually her.
That's a
you
true
know,
partnership right
yeah,
there.
yeah,
When you
yeah.
cut
So,
into
welcome
each
to
other's
Dubai.
words.
You are here for a very special exhibit. It's called your
Yes.
Frequency exhibit. I think,
That is
which
correct.
already has been in a couple of other countries, right? You started
No?
it?
Well,
in
we
LA, right?
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
we had a show with Christie's
Yeah.
in LA
Yes.
last year.
Right.
Very posh,
And-
Christie's, you know.
Yes, I'm very happy with the partnership with Christie's.
Mm-hmm.
They're a phenomenal team, and I'm very lucky that we're doing this with Christie's now
Yeah,
in Dubai. I'm super excited.
Is it your first time in the region?
Actually, when I learned that we were doing the exhibition here, I wanted to come and meet the culture and meet the people. I felt a little awkward just doing an exhibition in a
In a
country
that you
I don't
didn't
know.
That's great.
So I came here on May, and
Nice and cool.
it was.
Wow. For me, May is like the hottest time. of the
You know, I have no problem with heat.
region. Nice. Yeah. Well, you know, you are also from Mexico,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I
And
grew up
Lebanese.
and Lebanese as well.
Yes.
You might
So-
be related, actually.
Cousin.
Cousin.
Hi, cousin.
I'm happy. I'll take it. Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable with the heat. That didn't bother. I was very impressed by what's going on here.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
was-
city. It's
I felt very welcome. I felt the love immediately,
yeah.
and I got inspired too by my experience here. I actually did a couple of pieces.
That's what I was going to
based
ask. Did
on
you
that
do anything
trip.
from
Yes. I actually did it's a credenza,
that? Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. The credenza. I
but
went to
the inspiration is a hummingbird.
Oh.
I love that
Nice.
because that really defines the energy of.
And that's what I felt
Dubai
like
and
when I
UAE.
came here, there is this motivation and this activation
Yeah.
and it's fast paced, and I love that things get done, but also it's a small country, and it's very colorful in all cultures that come here. So I'm almost describing a hummingbird.
Yeah.
you know,
I love
and
that.
But we're
so-
a small it's a small country with a huge reach. I think the footprint
Correct.
of Dubai across the world now, it's quite exemplary.
I concur. And so in one sense, I felt that analogy of the hummingbird with what's going on in the region. In the other sense, the hummingbird is pertinent to the Americas, where I am from.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have this
Connection.
connectivity between I and the region. And a part of it is done by a tribe, which is called Huichol. And they do these beats, glass beats, one by one by hand.
Yeah.
So there's a balance, which I also do in most of the work, of something that is very artisanal, handmade, with something that is incredibly high tech. Like the combination. I like that
Yeah,
conversation
Can,
of the both.
can I ask about the word frequency?
You're going to ask anyway.
Can I ask about the word frequency?
Of course.
Like, what does that mean to you, like in terms of the work and your inspiration?
So, I mean, by definition, frequency is just the amount of time between an event and another event.
Yeah.
But in terms of this conversation, everything has a specific frequency, and for example, color. Every color has frequency and temperature, and it's almost like a formula.
But I think it's a frequency and temperature that resonates with you, because I think someone else's color has a different frequency for them.
And also,
This is what I believe.
I
It's-
concur.
It's how you.
There are general interpretations of specific frequencies, and then you have filters which you interpret on a personal level, same event or same thing. However, there is a propensity always.
Oh, I like that word. I haven't heard that word for ages.
There's a propensity that remains.
Words.
I would like to just.
Actually, I just wanted to ask about that. You know, we're talking about vibrations and nature. Actually, it's a very ancient. So the Aborigines, they have the fir tree, which is based on the energy and the vibrations. So like attract.
Correct.
So I thought that's where you got in terms of nature and well-being and.
Correct. Well, actually, I became a designer artist not because that's what I focus on in the very beginning. My main
You started as an engineer, no?
well, what
So
happened?
this is what I would like to do, so just to take our viewers and to get to know you better. So you were, I want to know a little bit about your childhood. What brought you to this stage? You grew up in Mexico. Did you grow up in Mexico
Yes.
full time? And then, so can you tell us what inspired you to go into this and just a little bit of the background?
Of course.
Yes.
I was born in a very small town called Coatzacoalcos in Mexico.
You try pronouncing that. What's
Coatzacoalcos.
Coatzacoalcos?
Yes.
Not bad. That's
and I had a fantastic childhood.
Alhamdulillah.
We had a lot of fun, a lot of freedom, a lot of exploration,
Which is so different to now.
and yeah, it was great.
Because we had no social media. Because
We have no so-
because we're
yes.
both 32 plus VAT.
Correct.
So we had no
I'm the
social
youngest
media. Yeah.
No, it was fantastic.
Yes.
And I mean, I can't believe my parents allow me all that freedom at such a young age. Like
the world
I
was
see,
different.
the world was different.
But what do you mean by freedom? Like you'd go off in the morning, come back late at night, you'd wander off?
Yeah, like we'll go to the river, we go to the ocean, we
Yeah.
go to the mountain. You know, when
Yeah.
we were very little. I was sent on my own to Canada when I was 10 years old for 2 months on my
Were you
own.
naughty and they sent you over there?
Well, yes, I was mischievous, that's for sure.
So
You
then,
have it
But
in your eyes.
nonetheless.
so
you
then
know.
you had this freedom.
Yes,
And
and a
at
lot of
what
exploration.
point? At what point did you think? At what point did you think, oh, I'd like to go into design?
So it wasn't like that. I started doing business administration in a school called Pepperdine in Malibu.
Oh, I know
Of
that.
course you did.
That's not a school. That's a country club. Let's be honest.
Well,
that
I'll tell you-
campus was where
No,
everybody
I'll
wanted
tell you
to
exactly
be.
what happened.
Yeah.
I moved
You
from
can
Coatzacoalcos.
tell us, but we won't necessarily believe you.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you have to trust me. I went from Coatzacoalcos. I went to Cuernavaca, which is another city in Mexico.
Cuernavaca.
Yes.
My Mexican's
And
improving.
I went to school there that they basically train you to go to Ivy League schools or difficult schools to get into.
Oh.
I wanted to go to the MIT to do engineering
Oh, wow.
originally.
I'd just like to point out MIT,
Yeah.
Pepperdine.
No, let me tell you how that shortage happened.
I like
Not
that word,
disrespect to
shortage,
Pepperdine,
yeah.
but I went to Cuernavaca and I saw this girl and I fell in love.
Oh, always a girl.
Always a
Always a
Always
girl.
a girl. Let me tell you.
suckers.
No, let me just
And
tell you.
That became my project. I mean,
What, the
am I-
girl?
Yes, because anyways,
She fell in
I had to court her. You know, it was not there just there. So, anyways, I had a great life in Cuernavaca. I relaxed on the school, and then I said, "Oh, forget MIT." I did a little business, which was doing great. So
What little business?
I was bringing
Sounds a bit
things.
dodgy.
I was bringing things from the United States
Yeah.
and selling them. It was very basic, but at that time in Mexico, you couldn't get any of simple things, you know,
Yeah,
like
of course.
But anyways, it
I
was
want
doing
everything
good.
but the bagel. Nobody sells it. I mean, someone
Yes.
should bring that as a business.
So I have an older sister that already went to Los Angeles, and she asked me, "You're gonna finish high school? What happened? I mean, what are you gonna do?" And I said, "Nothing. I'm just gonna stay here in Cuernavaca, and I'm gonna go to university." And she says, "Listen, that girl you have, she's not gonna stay with you. She's older. She's very pretty.
Oh, how much older was she?
Just like
Yes.
a year and a half.
Okay.
Oh,
But she says older guys are hitting her now You know, she was very pretty. You're not going to be able to hold her. Then your business is too good. Somebody with more money is going to copy you right now. So in a year, you're going to be out of business.
Sister.
And then she goes, you're going to end up with no girl, no business, in a mediocre school.
She's like, yeah, I'm pumped
Yes,
for my future.
yes. Yes.
And you know what I said? Wow, she's right. Anyways, I said, and she goes, why don't you test yourself, you know, leave mama, papa, friends, your comfort zone, go to a different country and, you know, build up yourself.
Smart.
And I said, okay, what about where you are? And then she described USC, which is a school there in Los
USC is a
Angeles,
smart school.
UCLA, and Pepperdine. So when she described all of them, I said, Pepperdine.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I mean, it took a long time for me to describe
Yeah.
why I ended up in Pepperdine.
Oh, no, that's okay.
And then,
so then, yeah.
I went to Italy. Pepperdine has campuses around the world, and I went to Italy, and
So you basically chose all the fun, like,
Yeah.
fun places with good food.
I'm obsessed with food. I love pleasure. I
Yes.
love, you know, I like to have fun and enjoy.
That's how life
So
should be.
we went there. I mean, I went there, and when I was in Florence, I came to the conclusion that there is something invisible that unfolds itself into a specific expression, or it allures a specific behavior and attitude, and that forms culture. So if you take a look at cultures, countries, even subcultures, societies, clubs, they're very cohesive. So I became very interested in understanding how to manipulate, do it backwards, how to manipulate a space or an object with materials and proportions and textures, and how to study how to create the specific environment to invest and to promote a specific way of feeling.
Yeah.
And this is a lot based on the fact that I am convinced that objects absorb energy, they
Yeah.
absorb intention.
Which I'm assuming is why a lot of your pieces, or maybe it's from your also love of engineering, that you like people to touch and move, and they have it's not just about functionality, it's about
Correct.
joyfulness.
In general, I personally enjoy not only objects or art, but also people that have ledgers to them.
Yeah.
I'm not very much fond of just
Something
like one thing
stagnant, yeah.
stagnant. So in this, and you're absolutely right, in this particular collection or bulk of work, I want people to touch them and feel them and
Yeah, I
interact with them. And I like that exchange with the people and the object, because the whole objective is for these, call them artifacts, to be charged with an intention that promotes wellness to whoever engages with them. So everything that is hung is, at least now, is based on solfeo frequencies. And solfeo frequencies are specific hertz sounds that are known to promote wellness, even restructure DNA in people for many, many, many years. This is not new. And you found these frequencies in chantings in all religions. So if you vibrate these sounds, you will find specific shapes they unfold into. And what you will find in this exhibit in Christie's is the physical or the three-dimensional expression of those forms. So right there, it has embedded that frequency. And they spin. So in my head, it's like a fan
So
that
they're
is.
all
You
Right.
shouldn't
You
be
know.
tempting me, because
Yeah.
I'm going to be like,
Yes.
No, that's what I want.
that's
I
what
want
you
people to do
you
that.
do. You actually, most of your art is for people
Yeah,
to touch
I want
and
people
explore,
to get
right?
interact, and also they sound.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, there's two that don't, but most of them, they're like bells. And you get up close, you sound, and then you get the frequency as well.
I love your generosity of that, and also the fact that, because it's a selling exhibition, right?
Yes, it's a selling exhibition.
Also the fact that you've made it not too exclusive, like your price points are so, because you wanted people to also be able
Absolutely.
You have
enjoy
a huge
part
range.
of it.
Absolutely.
If you could describe your customer, so somebody that doesn't know your work so well, or somebody here in the region that's going to come, please come to Christie's and see the exhibition. Describe your client, your customer.
So the customer is someone that is invested in themselves and their self-growth. It doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter the economic status. It's someone that wants to explore and understand more about their own capabilities. Let me expand. We have senses, right? 5 senses. And I think this leads into a broader conversation about art. For me, the art starts where you shut down those 5 senses and you go to a part of your brain, the midbrain, where you start to tap into other tools that we not normally engage. For example, if you see religions, all of them have monotonous praying, mantras, they have the rosaries, something that's monotonous. Because they lead you towards tiring your senses and your brain. And at a point, you achieve...
For the masses, it's how they control the masses.
Well, that's how... It's complicated to have a scientific conversation with everyone to explain how what you're really doing is you are having a neutral frequency. If you know, everything that you touch is Hertzian and is positive or negative. Infrared has positive and negative. Photons have positive and negative. The next one, which is ultraviolet blue, is neutral. There's no positive or negative there. So if you're able to stop the chatter, then you raise your frequency or your consciousness towards this realm where there's neutrality. But also, it's easier to modify things of your character in that state of mind. And then when it unfolds into, you know, the physical, then the change is faster. Okay. It's almost like changing gears.
Yeah, I feel like I need,
but we need
for
to,
my mental health.
I definitely, because I've seen only in pictures some of your work. Like I've seen the collector's table, which I think you did with your wife, right?
Yeah.
Because she's a
just
jewelry.
looking at
Was
your
it, yeah?
jewelry.
Yeah, she's
That's hers, right?
Not that I'm flexing, but she's a phenomenal jeweler designer.
Okay, he's flexing. You can flex here.
No, but she's a beautiful example.
Exhibition. This is beautiful. This is
both
beautiful.
Nature,
I know they're both natural, but if you had to choose a baby, like your baby in this exhibition, or your favorite piece, what would it be?
Oh,
that's a low blow.
I'm sorry.
That's out of bounds.
I'm sorry. What do you mean? But I mean,
that's out of bounds. Well,
okay, which is the one that will be hardest for you to let go of?
Don't feel you have to say the table you did with your wife.
Yeah, no. Those are 2 different answers.
Okay.
You know, right now, I will favor the credenza.
The credenza, because you made it for here. And
because I made it for here. It's called the Dubai credenza. And it's something I've never done. Yeah. I did it specifically for Christie's.
Is it green? Is it? No,
this one is green. It has green tonalities and is mimicking.
It reminded me of a backgammon board for some reason. I don't know
because it has these patterns and
I don't gamble, so
the patterns.
Backgammon is not
gambling. You don't have to gamble.
You don't have to gamble to
I think you're a gambler then. If you say that, that's because you're a gambler.
I never gambled.
Well, you don't have to gamble with money. I think you could be a gambler in your decisions.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
So you are a gambler.
Oh my God, he's getting to know me without me knowing
No,
me.
the patterns are the movement of the wings of the hummingbird. Okay. That's where the patterns are they come from.
How big is it?
It's 4 meters, but sorry to interrupt. It's modular.
Yeah.
So you
Ah,
can
so you
get
can break it,
one
you can get-
1
okay.
meter or 20 meters. And the colors, you can choose any color. In this particular case, I chose green because hummingbird, you know, the neck of the hummingbird has all these tonalities. It's actually 3 different tones of green put together. So going back to their wife, she loves insects and nature.
I can see that.
Yes, so she has an extensive collection of insects from the roll, you know, the roll in Paris.
Yes.
So everything is like sourced out of natural death, etc. So I have a bunch in the wall, and my kids are always looking at them, and they want me to carry them to see them up close. And we happen to be in lack of a center table, and I combined the 2 ideas to have, instead of
Up
you
on
know,
the
they
wall,
open the
so
wall.
difficult to reach.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's
can
right here up
experience them.
close. You
Yeah.
see different angles. You appreciate better. And I thought it'd be great to have this as a display for collections, any collections. I've done with the insects, but I'm doing now with quartz.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to do one with seashells.
Ooh.
The one that is here in Christie's has Murano glass candy.
Oh, wow,
nice.
yummy.
So the premises is
So just to explain to people that may not have seen, so you would have like the candy inside at the table and then the glass on top.
thank you.
that
Yes.
people-
So
So
it's like a cabinet,
Yes.
and then it has a glass on the top, so you see through, and it sits on a like a block of marble that also serves to hold books at the end.
Yes.
And we sit around. We're Mexican and Lebanese. We
Yes.
sit
We
around
sit
there on the
around
floor and
on
we
the
eat
floor
and we
eating.
drink.
I was going to say,
you
it
know.
really struck me that must be your kind
We
of
drink the
cultural
tea.
influence.
So you would love then. I live in Oman, so my heart is actually Omani, even though I'm Lebanese. But we always use the old wooden doors.
Yes.
And then we fill them with beautiful Omani artifacts, and then a glass on top.
And then a glass on top.
And people just sit around, and it's very nice.
And yeah, so the idea is that, and I will never repeat the same combination. Like you
So
can,
everyone has something different.
yeah. And for example, if the one in Christie's has the Murano candy, if somebody wants a table just like that, I will not do it.
Yeah.
But I can do that, Murano candy with different marble, different wood.
just to make it complete.
Just so it's
So
unique.
everything
you
has
know,
its
every-
own accent.
It,
then.
and so that people get something that is unique to them.
Yeah, and they feel special every time they
Correct.
see it or touch it. What I love about that encasement and all the natural thing, every time you look, you see something different. right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And you continue,
yeah.
especially if you have something as intricate as the Murano candy or the insects in my case.
Yeah, and that thing between nature and geometry, because I also noticed you have quite a lot of geometry in
Yes.
your work. Funnily enough, in Islam, it talks about nature having a lot of geometry, because we all think it's soft and but actually there's geometry in everything in nature.
It's interesting you point that out because it's part of the conversation where if you dissect any event or any object, you can have millions of data. Anything. For example, this room. You're sitting here and you're seeing this. But if you want, you can go and take a look at all the construction documents and all the material finishes and all the specifications.
I don't think I can.
I know,
Like-
but the fact of the matter is that it exists.
Yeah.
You don't see it.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through it, but behind any reality, there's a bulk of mathematics and a bulk of intricate things for it to happen. So again, I'm back engineering, so I'm placing sacred geometry into these objects to raise the frequency of the object, not only the solfeo frequencies, etc. So the experiment is to invest as much as I can into creating these pieces to contribute something to the places and the people they go to. That's really the experiment.
Okay, so if you had to, say, give a piece of advice to somebody
I was going
starting
to ask
out work.
actually, what's the takeaway that you want for people to have when they see that exhibition? Like, what do you want us kind of to leave and think about you or about the work?
Well, it would be fantastic if some people say as simple as, "Oh, I love that color." That's good enough
That's
for me.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Or someone to say, "I love the pattern." And if somebody would like to engage in a more complex conversation, they can. So my takeaway would be to give everybody that walks in there something. They may
Something
not
to
like, yeah, something to like,
something to admire, something to connect with.
something to feel happy about.
Yeah, for them.
Something
Yeah.
to, like, they may not like the piece, but they might like the color, or vice versa. But I would love for people to feel joy or inspired
Yeah.
or motivated. It would be phenomenal if some of the things that they see trigger an inspiration for them to go and pursue whatever they're holding to pursue.
That would be great. Wouldn't
That
it?
would be
so,
great.
so at the end of the day, the end result or the goal is not the piece, but is what can it contribute
To someone.
to the people that engages them.
So
That's the end
If
result.
you could see your piece in anyone's house, who would it be? Who would you like to see a piece of your work in? Or the two of you know?
I don't have a particular person,
Yeah.
but Ness will be an incredible.
She keeps
Example.
saying to me, "It's my birthday." So it's my birthday. So no, it's not happening. Ness. I wouldn't be Misha. I have to be naughty, and I need to ask a question, and I need to say something because I wouldn't be Misha if I wasn't, right, Ness?
Well, it depends what
But
You have touched on your sister a little bit. We know that you have a very famous sister. So having a sister like that, has it helped or hindered?
both.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right?
Yeah, both. I mean, in many different circumstances,
course.
it's a great plus.
Yeah.
In some others, it's the opposite.
I mean, I think
have to ask.
most siblings are either a blessing or not. So, my
No.
brother.
No, she's definitely a blessing.
She's a blessing.
Yeah.
She is a blessing,
Yes.
no
Yeah,
doubt.
But in connection to the work, because sometimes it overshadows certain things, or sometimes maybe
The
not.
overshadowing, I don't see, that's not.
Does she pay retail when she wants a piece, or does she get
Of
family
course
discounts?
not.
No, come on.
She gets the love.
I know.
She gets the love for
You
sure.
do realize that Nez is going to be asking.
Well,
for
you're
I'm
this.
my
gonna be
cousin,
annoyed
right?
now.
Yeah, cousins,
You're
cousins,
cousin,
cousins,
so,
cousins.
Cousins, we have family prize.
I also go on.
No, go on.
Also, you've made a very famous chair, and I'm trying to remember the name, but my mind's gone thing. And you've done a collaboration. I know that you did a collaboration with Lynn Rosset, right? Which is a really high end.
Frau.
Yeah. Oh, but really? I thought it was Lynn Rosset. Wasn't it Lynn Rosset before? Okay, but you've also done a collaboration. I think, is it with the red one? Target? Did you?
Yes.
Oh,
Which
now
is
you're
to reach-
talking. My
which is-
favourite
So
store
I have a
in
friend
the
that
US.
goes to the US and gets lost in Target for 3
Yes.
days before I find her.
Yeah.
And then, that was really to reach
Okay,
a much wider audience. Can you tell us about that?
100%. So, but by the way, in parentheses, when my wife came to the States to live for the first
Can we
time.
stop calling her your wife? Her name's Daniela.
Daniela.
Daniela,
Yes.
you're a wonderful
Daniela,
jewelry
we
designer.
love
Yes.
So-
your jewelry.
Yes.
When Daniela just came, she would say, "We need some milk. I'm gonna go to Target," and she'll come back with 120 bags. 3 hours
Everybody
later, right?
does that.
It really is the best
Yeah.
like shop in the
Yeah.
States.
I
It
have,
really
So-
is.
I have to be honest, I've never set foot inside
No.
one.
You're missing out.
So when I first graduated, consciously I said I'm gonna take every job that comes my way, good or bad,
I like
Yeah.
that.
small or big, complicated client or not, just to warm up,
Yeah.
just to be exposed, because the goal again was to understand how to use materials, how to manipulate materials.
And get yourself out of your comfort zone
Yeah,
as well.
and just, you know, get in trouble and then learn how to get out of it. So for 10 years, I did that. Whoever knocked on my door, it was an automatic yes. Even if I knew it was going to be a headache. But I said, okay, this is time to learn.
Yeah.
Then on the second decade, I wanted to go high and low. So in the second decade, I went Target, which is incredibly affordable prices.
What did you make for them?
I did, well, first they engaged me to do something called back to school. Oh, yeah. And there was a desk and a chair and
nice,
these. And then I ended up doing bedding and gifts, and I did like 120 items for them.
Wow.
At the end of the exercise.
Did you enjoy it?
Very much so.
So you didn't feel it was on your...
It was very hard because the first time I presented the general idea, I said, I'm going to go not very heavy on design, like very vanilla, because it's Target, you know, they sell to everyone, and I don't want to scare them. And I walk into this room, there's like 30 executives, I give the presentation, and that was already way too much. And I felt very nervous then, because I'm like, oh, wow, what did I walk into? Because, you know, I felt incredibly limited.
Yeah.
But it's good to be on a diet as a designer, because then it
be on
really...
a diet, not as a designer, but it's not working. Go on.
Well, it makes you, you know, really think.
Yeah,
but to your question, in that particular project, I was, and I still actually in this body of work in Christie's, there's a lot of it coming from the same concept, which at that time, it was the merger of two cultures, Mexico and the United States. And I was thinking, how wonderful will it be to have the structure and the discipline, you know, of the United States, but have the joy of life and the freedom of Mexico combined. So that collaboration was having that conversation. And I wanted to reach the masses, as many people as I can with this message. That's why I was very interested. Okay. The same, in April, I was showing Poltrona Frau in Milan. And the next month, I was showing Target. So super high-end, super low-end. And then right after that, I designed an airplane for Bentley Motors.
I was going to say, you've gone from like small products to like commercial buildings and private.
That's amazing. The jet's beautiful.
Yeah. So I wanted to go high and low in that decade.
So much fun.
Yeah.
I don't think you could have had a different spectrum, though, seriously, from Target to...
I know.
No, I don't know, because the target consumer is very particular.
Oh. Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're most kind.
Really
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Take care.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.
Right. That's it.